The American dream is about when you see someone being picked on, you use your voice and you say enough, enough already.
Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've had this gentleman on the show before, and he is putting out a new book called The Viper, and we're going to talk to him all about it. Brad Meltzer's on Zoom with us. How you doing, Brad?
I am good. I love when anyone just takes the book and shoves it in people's faces. Like,
look at this book. Look at this book. My wife started this book. I'm very happy to say that through the somebody told her, because my wife is an avid reader, and somebody told her, it's like, oh yeah, you don't even need to follow along with the other books. This could be a good. Maybe it's not the best starting point. I mean, you'd want to go through the full series of Zig and Nola, books. But she is gonna start this. She started it last night. So here we go. Off to the races.
That says on the cover, the perfect place to meet Zig and Nola. So I love that.
There you go. Congratulations on the brand new book. I think last time we talked to you, we were talking about kids' books a little bit and maybe about new books on the horizon. So, yeah, explain to us how this book came about and where we are in this. Is this the trilogy? Is this the third book?
No, we're still going. So let's talk about where it is. So A man walks into a funeral home. He's carrying his favorite blue suit. He's got a terminal disease, and this is the suit that he wants to get buried in. So here's the thing, is if you go to your local bank and you open up a safety deposit box, then paperwork gets filed because eventually the government, if they want to track it, can track you. Same thing if you go to the UPS store and you open up a P.O. box. But if you secretly sew something into the lining of your suit and you hand that suit to your local mortician, you have the ultimate untraceable hiding spot. Man goes back to his hotel room. There's a guy with a gun waiting who says, "Where is it?" Man says, "I don't know what you're talking about." The guy shoots him dead. That suit is still in the funeral home. You won't believe what's hidden inside it or who's about to find it. And that's chapter 1 of The Viper.
I love that. I love that. I've always...
Chapter 2.
Oh.
No.
Tell us the whole book.
Oh my God,
we'll sit here and listen, Brad.
Chapter 74.
Did you listen to our show today? Brad got on the line, and he just went through, gave us abbreviated of all the chapters of his brand new book. It was awesome.
So, Brad, I'm always impressed by the amount of research you do for your books. And
well, you're known. You know that online you're known in like author land as being like the guy, right? The research guy that.
I don't know. I think I mean, my kids know me as something very different, right? But I listen. I'm nerdy about that stuff. I've taken people in the secret tunnels below the White House. I've done the labyrinth below the Capitol in Florida, in our home state, right by you guys. I've done the secret tunnels below Disney World. And, Mickey and Donald and Goofy are nice, but if you cross them, they will make your family disappear in the middle of the night. Right? That was one of the hardest places to ever research until The Viper, because in The Viper we did witness protection. And I love witness protection. I was like, what is, I want to know about it. And witness protection, when you think about it, you think of the mob, right? You think of Tony Soprano or the end of Goodfellas, and someone gets a nose job and they go live in, Nebraska somewhere. And that's what truly witness protection was designed to do, was to take down the mob. And it worked. It actually worked. And so the mob obviously didn't thrive as much as it did, but it's not like crime stopped. So what happened is all these other criminals took their place. So for a while, instead of mobsters ratting on mobsters, it was gang members, because gangs started thriving. So gang members were one of the biggest groups in witness protection. And then 9/11 happened, and it was terrorists, because we started chasing terrorists. You want to know one of the biggest groups in witness protection right now? It's actually accountants, because now data is king. That's what rules the world, is like finding all the information that companies have. And I love the fact that when you will never look at witness protection the same way again once you read The Viper.
Okay, so Brad, let's start with just witness protection and the basis of what it is, because what I understand witness protection to be is if you basically rat on someone for the government to help them put a case on someone
I feel like
else.
rat is putting it strongly.
Yeah.
Considering
rat is not exactly the marketing term you want.
yeah.
Well,
And eventually
I come from the
will-
streets, Brad.
Yeah, I will eventually rat on you. But yeah, I mean.
Okay, you testify against someone for the government, and then to repay you for doing that, the government says, okay, now that you did this, you are in danger from the group you testified against because, this guy's going to jail, but his associates may want to come for revenge. So we will hide you somewhere in the United States. I didn't think it was outside of the United States in my mind. Like you said, Nebraska. Like,
Well, you're just giving Brad your idea of what witness protection is, and then
Right,
Brad
I was
doesn't-
like, tell me your idea of everything. I'm sure it'll be fascinating. Right?
How dare you, Brad? Because I'm just asking to see if this is correct, going down the right road.
Yeah, are we on the right road?
No, listen, you guys are always on the right road. You know that. That's why I love you. So, and that's what it's set up for, right? The one thing you left out, though, is it's not just, hey, man, now you're going to be killed, is you actually don't go to jail. You're not prosecuted. You get a really big gain. And most important, they're going to do their best to help you because they understand that who you're testifying against is some pretty bad people. And it used to be that, like, if someone moved to you, think of when you were little and someone new moved to your street or your block or something, you either like paid attention or you looked at them, you're like, I don't know. You introduced yourself, you didn't. And whatever, that was the end of it. When someone new moves on your block now, well, what do? You Google how much on Zillow, how much they sold their house for or bought their house for. And then you check their Facebook page because you want to see who it is. If they don't have a Facebook page, man, that's even more suspicious. Now I got to do some digging, right? And then you start looking to see if they have a criminal record. You start seeing if they're on a pedophile list. We can find everything about anyone.
Yeah.
So when witness protection, used to be you move to town, they give you a new identity, and they say, here, Tom, here, Dan, your name is now, Dan, your name is going to be Tom, and everyone doesn't care. But now you got to build digital backgrounds. You got to build a digital past. You got to build all this stuff. And what's really cool is witness protection. They have a stat that says and the Marshal Service is so amazing, full respect to them. They said they have never, in the history of witness protection, ever lost anyone. Not one person. Now, here's the answer. As long as they completely listen to us. Now, that's a great little asterisk right there to put on it, like a real great caveat, because what it means is that when it sounds almost tantalizing. For witness protection, you get to start your life over, right? Think about that for a moment. You guys just start it over, leave everything behind, and you get a new life. Even to me, I'm like, that sounds like that. There's something cool about that.
There is, yeah. There's an allure. I'm obsessed with this. Like, I'm the guy that sees these things, and I'm like, I just want to disappear from my family and start a whole new thing. Yes, there's an allure there.
Totally. I'm like, there's just something that's cool about like just starting everything over and see what you get. And what I think is wild is people take that, right, and then they go, and witness protection sets them all up, gives them a place, gives them the background, gives them everything. But you got to leave your mother-in-law behind. And for some people, not for me, but for some people, they're like, oh, that's even better. I can, leave them behind. But other people, you got to leave your sister. You got to leave your brother. In a lot of cases, who you have to leave, they won't let you keep your dog. You got to leave your dog behind because people recognize your dog if they know your dog. And that's harder. And the one thing that the people in witness protection told me is that there's like a call to home. It calls to you. And 6 months in, you're like, man, I miss my sister. I miss my dog. I'll just make a quick phone call and see how they're doing.
Uh-oh.
And that's how bad things happen. And so again, in the Viper, I was like obsessed with witness protection. I want to show people like this is how it really is. And it is not what you think.
Do you write the books to gain the access because it's something inside of you that you want to find out about? Or do you get the access to research the book? Do you understand? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's a very smart question. I mean, it is a little chicken and the egg game. Like sometimes I have research. I just, what I really do? I'm gonna be honest, not give you a quick answer, but give you an honest answer. I just kind of like, I find something that I like and I look at it and then I figure out how to make it work in the book. I don't go like, I gotta do this because I gotta sell this book or do that. I just was like, what am I obsessed with? And I saw some article on witness protection or some guy on witness protection. I'm like, oh man, let's do that. And then I meet the guy and find the guy. And it's, sometimes it's crazy. Like I got a letter the way I got to the White House originally back in the day is I got a fan letter from President Bush Sr. I got one from Bill Clinton. They invited me to go to private lunches at the White House. I mean, it was crazy stuff. We I talked about it before.
Yeah.
But I remember, my first job when I was 18 years old, I went to work in Congress for the Senate Judiciary Committee, and I used to be in charge of the pen signing machine. And I thought the letters that they brought to me were fake when I got the president's letter, because when I used to run the pen signing machine in Judiciary, I would take the stationery from the Judiciary Committee, put it on the pen signing machine. I write to all my friends in Florida and tell them they were being deported. And I was just like,
that's a great. Boy, I mean, let's pause a moment.
It's not
for that
as funny now as it used to be then. Like, it's a different joke right now. But
Sure.
But I did used to do that, so I thought these letters, this can't be real. And it was real. I called President Bush's office back then, and I was like, "Hey, I got this letter from some intern there. They want a free book, and they want me to sign it for them." And they're like, "Oh, you got the president's letter?" And I was like, "Oh." So when that happened, I was like, "I'm going to go research what it's like to be a former president," because it's so crazy that this guy's so bored. He's writing to me now. He was the leader of the free world, and now he's writing to me. Like, how boring is his day? So I literally said, "Can I come and see you in Texas?" And he was like, "Come spend a week." And so I went for almost a week in Texas in Houston, and that took on the whole book that I was doing back then. So Witness Protection now for the Viper, I spoke to this guy who was a marshal, and I was like, "Oh, you can teach me some really cool things." And so then it just became part of the book.
So, Brad, I'm curious to, like, obviously the whole basis of witness protection is secretive. Like, you want to keep they want to keep the people that they're hiding hidden. And so telling you too much about what their tricks are is disadvantageous to what their goal is. But I'm curious if you ask them, like, as technology increases, like you said, having no social media background when you move into a community is weird and a red flag, and people are more suspicious. So then you could build someone a fake social media background. I can understand that through Photoshop and now AI. It's easier than ever. But
I was gonna laugh at your Photoshop.
But with certain face recognition programs becoming on the market for us, the public to use, is that a concern down the line because now you have someone, you could just scan all of Facebook for someone's face and then find them even under a different name with facial recognition technology.
Of course, that's right. That's the issue right now, is technology's lapping what you can do, what you can get away with. And the other part, don't forget, I mean, when I thought of witness protection my whole life, I was like, it was always somehow, I don't know, it's kind of like, when they say that, like, when we were younger, like quicksand was going to kill you. Like, witness protection always was like, you're going to get surgery and then no one will recognize you. When you were in 11th grade and that girl got a nose job, did you not recognize her when she came in on Monday morning after spring break? No, you knew exactly who she was. So you'll see in the book that you have to come up and build a better mousetrap for how to hide people. That is actually, again, I won't ruin the Viper for you, but you will see, and your wife will see, that's part of the thing that I'm dealing with in the book, is like, how do you hide someone when the government can find you everywhere? And when you read the Viper, you will see.
And one of your characters in the book, and I believe it's Zig, is he a mortician? Is that what he does?
Yeah.
And I was freaking out a little bit because I was like, oh, well, I'm kind of glad my wife is going to read this. I'll probably read it too, because my dad did that for a hot minute. And he would tell me about, working in the funeral parlor and embalming bodies and doing all of that. And then through reading even the bio for this particular book, you had some pretty, again, going back to you getting to sort of live out these abilities to go to these places that nobody gets to go to. You got to go to what is considered literally the most secretive and high profile mortuary in the world, did you not?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I do a lot of work with the USO, and I spent years going to Kuwait and Oman and Qatar as the war was winding down. They took me all over the world to entertain our troops, because troops love, and people love, they read thrillers there. That's the thing that really helps pass time when you're sitting around a lot. And one of the things I found out about was Dover Air Force Base. I didn't know what it was, never heard of it my whole life. And Dover, even if you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, because when a soldier is killed in action, that flag-covered coffin that comes off the plane and everyone salutes, that's Dover. Okay. And But it's not just where our fallen soldiers' bodies go. It's also where the astronauts, when the space shuttle exploded, the astronauts' bodies went to Dover. On 9/11, all the Pentagon victims, their bodies went to Dover. And in fact, right now in Venezuela, we have all these CIA people there. If something goes sideways, all of our spies around the world, their bodies go to Dover too, which means Dover's a place filled with secrets. And I love secrets.
Yeah.
And so the thing is that the morticians there, though, will spend 12 hours rewiring someone's jaw, smoothing it over with clay so they look better because the family wants to see their son one last time in the coffin, rebuilding someone's hand one last time because a mother says, I want to hold my son's hand one last time. And I was struck by these people who are just want to deal with, they won't put in for overtime, some of them, even though they work an extra 12 hours because they want to show this fallen soldier the dignity and the respect they deserve. And I was like, man, that's how the world should work. And so Zig, one of the main characters, is this guy who believes if you're a good person and you put good into the world becomes a better place. And Nola, let's talk about the other character for a second. I was researching, I was with the military, and they took me on this army base to this big giant warehouse. It looked like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, like filled with all these crates and stacks of stuff. And they had tons of paintings, like fine art. And I'm like, why does the Army have all this art? And they explained to me, and this is true, is since World War I, the U.S. Army has had a painter on staff who paints disasters as they happen, whether it's storming the beaches of Normandy, whether it's Vietnam, whether it's 9/11. And I'm like, you're telling me that everyone's racing in with guns blazing, and you've got nothing. You got a guy who's racing with nothing but paintbrushes in his pockets. Like, that guy sounds crazy. I want to meet him. Let me meet him. And they said, you mean her. You want to meet her. And that's where I met and came up with my character, Nola Brown. She's like the girl with the dragon tattoo. She's like badass. She believes the opposite of Zig. She believes, that's ridiculous about your kindness nonsense. If you want the world to make sense, you grab it by the throat and you force it to make sense. And I think for many years, all I was trying to do is figure out which side of me is right, my Zig side and my Nola side. And you don't have to choose, right? We're all Zig and Nola. We all have a part of us that's very kind and nice. And we all have a side of us that, especially when we see someone getting picked on, that man wants a fight. And I used to think, again, you got to choose between it, but you don't. You just got to love yourself and accept yourself for who you are. And you get to see, and America's most secretive funeral home is in Dover, of all places. And in the Viper, you get to see what's inside.
That is so cool. And I mean, yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Brett, I have to, since you're on Zoom with us, I'm interested to get your perspective on secrets in the government, conspiracies, something like.
Oh, he's the guy.
Well, you're the closest person I'm ever going to talk to that has talked to multiple presidents, has been given access to.
I feel like you're in
things
that
that other people
yeah.
haven't. So you've seen behind the scenes and you've seen some secretive stuff and talked to people and government agents and presidents. So I'm curious because I've always thought to myself when it comes to conspiracies and huge secrets that I lean towards them not existing because in my mind I'm like, impossible to keep it a secret with so many people involved, right? Like someone would leak it, some information would come out, like, these prediction markets. I saw a story the other day, like these prediction markets are essentially gambling. Like someone bet that Maduro wouldn't be in power after at the beginning of 2026.
They cashed in pretty good
and made
that.
a ton of.
But they won't pay it. They won't pay it until there's another thing.
Yes, no, I know, because they're like, this is insider. They were like, this is insider information.
No, of course, people can't keep their mouth shut.
So what's your?
But you're asking the right question. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that people can't keep their mouth shut, right? Like one of the great secrets that I was obsessed with for decades, and I was trying to figure out, was in Watergate, is who's Deep Throat.
Yeah.
Right. Deep Throat was the guy who broke Watergate, took down President Nixon. Woodward and Bernstein, he was a secret source who met him in the garage. It was like the question is who is Deep Throat? And everyone knew that. They said Deep Throat can never be revealed until Woodward and Bernstein and the head of the newspaper, the Washington Post, are dead. They'll never reveal the story. They'll never say who it was. They're taking it to the grave. And then guess what happened? This guy named Mark Felt said, it was me. And he confesses. Why? Because he was sick and he was old and he wanted people to know. Even Deep Throat couldn't keep the Deep Throat secret, right? And it just shows you, like, I got a call one day from this the lawyer of an 90-year-old woman who called me. It was she was related to John Wilkes Booth, who famously shot Abraham Lincoln.
Oh my God.
And and the lawyer said to me that when she was 12 years old, she was told a family secret, and the secret was this: is that they were related to John Wilkes Booth. That John Wilkes Booth was famously shot and killed after he killed Abraham Lincoln. But the family secret is they got the wrong guy. And her relative actually escaped. John Wilkes Booth went on the run, and would I like to hear their story? Yes, I want to hear that story, right? And we had her on our History Channel TV show. We put her on the show. We looked at all of her information. And there were things that were holes. She had the will of John Wilkes Booth, she said, but it was signed. It wasn't signed, which is how all wills were verified back then. Also, his fake name that he took on was John B. Wilkes. If your name is John Wilkes Booth and your fake name is John B. Wilkes, you're the worst fake ID maker of all time, right? Like, that's just the worst. That's worse than my fake ID in college, which was bad.
Sounds like his DJ name or something, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's like your
name.
porn name, right? It's just so bad. But again, why did she tell me? Because she was old and she was like, I'm going to die and I want someone to know the story. And that's what kills every secret. But to go back to what you're really asking is, like, are there real secrets anymore? Like, can the government keep them? And that's the real question. And I personally think, that's the one thing. Everyone wants to believe that all the big conspiracies are true. But here's the real truth, is that the reason why people want to believe conspiracies is because they're afraid. And I'll explain why. Like, think about this. You want to know who killed JFK? If you look at it in the 1960s when JFK was shot, we all said, oh my gosh, it's the height of the Cold War. It was the Russians did it. It was the Cubans did it. Our enemies in the Cold War. If you look in the 70s when Watergate hit and we stopped trusting the government, who killed JFK? We said, oh, it was an inside job. The CIA did it. LBJ did it.
Right.
If you look in the 80s as the Godfather movies peak, who killed JFK? It was the mob. So if you want to know who killed JFK, it's decade by decade, whoever America is most afraid of at that moment in time. And I tell you that simply to say is that this is why all conspiracies are mirrors. They show you your fears. And to me, it's much easier to believe whatever you believe about JFK. And listen, I think there are good questions to ask about JFK's murder. Like, what is Lee Harvey Oswald, who's a Marine, doing in Russia for a month and nobody's tracking him in the Cold War? How does Jack Ruby get into a police station and kill the most wanted man in America? There are good questions to ask that are all lost because Lee Harvey Oswald died. But here's the thing. It's much easier and safer for you to believe that it's a grand conspiracy, that it took all these people, that it took all this planning and all this money and all this secrecy. That makes you feel much better to sleep at night than the idea that one total lunatic can disrupt the entire planet. That's a terrifying thought.
Yeah.
That all it takes is one guy. So that's why we want to believe in these big theories. Not to say that some of them aren't true, but they can't all be true. And that's why conspiracies just keep going forward, because we just, they're mirrors. Again, show me your favorite conspiracy. I'll show you who you are.
I have never thought of the idea of comfort from.
It's what it does. It's safety, right? I mean, and that's what all fear is. That's why, I mean, we want, if you look at like these theories that go around now, right? They're all designed to make feel like you're going to get an answer. They're going to provide you something that's going to tell you why the world doesn't make sense. But you know what? Sometimes the world doesn't just make sense. It just doesn't. Anyone who's lost someone who they love understands that. But we want to believe, man. We just want to believe.
Yeah.
So, but it takes away the rain. It's what humans' brains have been doing for millennia. Is like, how do the tides work? Well, it's a god, obviously, because the complicated, like looking at the moon and the gravitational pull, and like way too complicated. Then you start looking at super complicated things, and then it's impossible to understand. And then you're like, oh, supernatural, conspiracy.
And think about, and let me say this: I think you're right. I mean, and it's hard to do in our own lives. I didn't think I was going to tell this story, but I'm going to tell it to you guys because I love you. I mean, it's just you're bringing it up. I mean, so when I wrote The Viper, the last line that I put in the book is actually the very first quote that's in the book, and it's this quote that says, "I don't believe in closure. I'm not sure we ever really get over anything." And when I read that line, it like hit me in the chest, and I was like, "Why is that hitting me so hard?" And I'm going to tell you the story about my dad. I didn't think I was going to tell you, but My dad was a complicated guy. He was not educated, bad with money, just like just blew shit up all the time, just a big giant, whatever. And my dad, when I was a senior in college, I went to pay my bill. I mean, I went to register for classes, and they said, "Listen, you can't register. No one's paid your bill." And my first thought is like, "Oh, Dad, I knew, of course, he hadn't done it." And they said, "You're kicked out of school. You got to leave." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And this nice woman in the registrar's office takes pity on me. She says, "Here, we're going to take your debt, Rhea. We're going to turn it into a 1% loan. At least you can graduate on time." All the quicksand that I'm standing in becomes solid ground. Okay, crisis averted. The year I graduate college, I'm move and I change my home address, and now I get my mail sent to me for the very first time. It's forwarded to me, and I quickly get in the mail $40,000 of credit card debt from credit cards that none of them that I've signed up for. All those credit cards that come to students that say, "Hey, sign up for a new credit card, establish your credit."
Yeah.
My dad signed up for all of them.
Oh,
That's
man.
how he was paying for me to get through college, is he was taking all these credit card bills and $40,000 of them to pay for it, which is such a terrible plan because a credit card is a 22% interest rate and you could add a 1% loan. So this thing is doubling so quickly and it's out of his control now. He can't get out of the debt. And they tell me the only way that I can get out of this debt is if I report my dad, testify against him. It was a fraud. That's the only way I can get out. And I'm like, I'm not ratting out my own father, man. There's no way.
Yeah.
So again, we make deals with all the credit cards. We take payments over time. Again, quicksand becomes solid ground. But here's the part I couldn't see about my own history. And that's what you were talking about with as how hard it is to see the complicated versus the easy.
Yeah.
Here's the part I missed in that story. And I told this part of the story when my dad died at his funeral. My dad, when he was a little kid, he used to get beat up by his own dad, who was a boxer in the military, and used to hit him. And I know that my dad used to jump in front of his younger brother to take the hits for him so his younger brother didn't get hit. I know he jumped in front of his mother, my grandmother, and took the hits from her so she wouldn't get hit. And what I couldn't see is that's what my dad was doing for me. He was trying to take the financial hit from me so that I could be the first in my immediate family to get out and go to a 4-year college. But I couldn't see that part of the story because I was so focused on all the headache and mess that he made for me that I was like, Dad, you created all this headache, you created all this mess. Like, what a mess you made of everything. I was so mad and so pissed at what he did to me that I couldn't even see his good intentions. And again, not that they're good plans, they were dumb, but I couldn't even see the good intention behind it. And I tell you that to tell you this, and this is where it's all going to come together, hopefully. In the Viper, there's a word that I never heard of before. It's called pentimento. I never knew what the word meant. And it's a painting term for when in old paint, it becomes so old and brittle, it starts to become transparent. So you can see through it. And you can start seeing all the original lines on the canvas that the artist drew before he put the paint on, kind of the rough draft. With all the mistakes and all the regrets, you can see a tree that's facing this way. They changed their mind and it's now facing this way. If you go see an old Rembrandt in a museum, you see there's like pencil lines behind it. It's because the paint's become so old. And I realized we're all rough drafts, man. All of us are filled with, we have regrets. We have mistakes in our old versions of ourselves. We all have these old versions filled with mistakes and regrets. But you can't make a masterpiece without them. And I finally realized closure is overrated. Simple answers are overrated. What you really got to do is take a good hard look and just love and accept yourself for who you are. Accept your actual truth and accept who you are. Love not just your good parts, but your bad parts. Love those crazy family members. And not because they deserve it. That forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. And to me, that's if everything the Viper gave me, I can't believe we're talking about this here, but everything the Viper gave me, man, that's what the Viper gave me as a book, is some forginness from my dad, man. And that is a heck of a gift.
I love how concept these characters are. And I was talking with Tom before this. We're selling books right now, by the way. I know we are because I'm watching the chat room. This one, I'll go out and buy a copy just so where I'm not reading a free book. How do you create these complex characters and how many of them do you have stored in your brain?
Yeah, that's the thing is I'm not one of those people who's like, I'm going to create a character based on my father, my love. Like, right. I don't know how to, I just write what I'm feeling, right? Like I don't even figure out what it is until I'm done. Like I buried my mom, I buried my dad, right? And so when they died, I wrote a book about a character who lost their mom. When my dad died, I wrote about a character who lost their dad. I'm not that complex, right? My code is not that hard to crack.
Sure.
And I thought that's all I was probably doing here, is just trying to still figure it out, how to get over it. But when I got to the end of the Viper, I was like, something else is bothering me here. What is it? I'm like, I buried my dad, but I didn't forgive him for all that headache and heartache he caused me. Right? I just couldn't, and that's why closure was hitting me. So I didn't have that closure. Right? It wasn't coming to me, but I didn't see it until the end. So I just write what I like, and it tends to be that what we like in art, like, let me say it this way. The books you love, the movies you love, the things you love the most. It's not because you love the plot, or you like Luke Skywalker or Dumbledore or Atticus Finch. It's not that you like Superman, or the characters. The reason you love those things is because they tell you something about yourself, who you want to be, who you eventually want to, what you want to achieve in life. Yeah. Whether you want to be a better person, a stronger person, how it's that's what our heroes give us, is they show us our potential. And to me, that's all my characters do for me, is they show you what's going on in me. And I know one thing, I'm not that alone. Like you, Dan, like you, like all of us, Tom, like we are all of us scared, and we're brave, and we're terrible, and we're amazing. Some of us all in the same day, some of us all in a few minutes, man, right?
True.
And we're all kind, and we're all full of fight, and so we're all Zig and we're all Nola. And when I got to the end of the Viper, I'm like, oh man, that's why that closure quote just was like a harpoon in my chest. It just, boom, it knocked me out.
I love that. Finding the beauty within things, or finding the true level of intent, finding the goodness that was there that you were blind to at the time. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
I was just too, I was just too stubborn and young, and like I was too pissed at my dad. I couldn't see any version but my version.
Well,
and if it wasn't applying to my version, it had to be wrong.
Well,
my version or the highway.
Comic books, right?
Yeah.
I grew up on comic books. Comic books are great black and white thinking.
They are,
but it's not that helpful in life, man. And I love my comics. I'm doing more comics for Marvel. I'm doing more stuff now, but
nice.
Like I still. Nothing like my novels to help me, welcome to my free therapy, I should say.
well, Brad, I would have said, well, why didn't you put the credit cards under your name? You put them under mine. Now I'm saddled with this.
I mean, come on, man.
We put them under my name. I can't get it out unless I testify against you.
For listeners across, because we got them in all different places, people can still meet you and get this book? Are you still?
Yeah. They can still meet you. So just so I know you have a big listenership, so I have an event in Miami, not this weekend, but the weekend after.
Nice.
And you can go on my website, go to bradmeltzer.com. I'm still going to Houston, St. Louis. I'm going to Cleveland. I'm going to, where am I going to after? Toledo. The tour is still going on.
Nice.
There's a Florida stop in there too. So, and you can look at the bookstores there. They can also, if you want signed books, and books in Miami at Coral Gables, if you call the store, you can get signed copies. And of course, it's on Amazon. They got a great deal on it. It's in Barnes & Noble. If you know someone who needs a birthday present, the Viper is it, man. But it's been a book like that is just really, yes, it makes you turn the pages. It makes you go like, oh my gosh, if you like The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, yeah, you're going to turn, and Nola's crazy and wild. But I think for me, I love when I'm reading a book and I learn something, especially about myself.
Do you already see a Hollywood person? Do you when you're writing this? I mean, I probably shouldn't even ask this. Do you see people?
No, I don't see anyone. I just see those characters. It's like saying who's your mom? Cast her in a movie. Like you just see your mom. Like it's your mom.
Right.
I mean, people write to me like Zendaya should be Nola. This one should be that. I'm like, whatever, dude. I don't care. I can see them in my head. I talk to them every day. I've talked to them for a decade.
Yeah.
So, Brad, real quick, we got 10 more minutes, and you're super smart, so I want to have a conversation with you about this. So,
is this where you ask him like love advice or something?
No.
Oh my God.
No, politics aside.
Here's the math problem. I need the square root of.
Because I'm curious to how Brad's brain works, and I'm curious if this piques his interest and makes him like, okay, so we all know what happened in Venezuela, and so when we see that story, I don't know about you, but I didn't know we could do that. It sounds kind of stupid, but I didn't know we have the even technology and the ability to go into a country like Venezuela and take their leader and his wife. By the way, if I was him, I'd be like, why'd you take my wife? Why'd you take me with
Take my wife, please.
She's bitching to me the whole helicopter ride.
Can you put her in a second helicopter?
Just leave her. What do you need? She's just my wife. Anyway,
to me,
I'm the monster.
The sleep mask is what got me. The sleep mask is what got me.
Sleep mask is good.
So anyway, and then then you hear about these, like, and this is, of course, internet rumors, like they had this technology with the sound wave and it was making people vomit blood and like some technology no one's even seen. And like you hear all these like stories coming out of here.
Which dips its toe into conspiracy.
Which dips its toe in conspiracy, and also is stuff in a movie that you would see that you would think is like, oh no, that's like,
And Brad disproves this stuff or proves it correct all the time.
Listen, I can tell you. Let's just break down all the things you said, because there's a lot of stuff in there that's really worth talking about. So one of them, that sound wave thing. There's some crazy sound stuff. If you go to the White House, and this is 10, 15 years ago, they've had it in the Situation Room. The windows in there actually vibrate. They move so that you can't do the sound wave bouncing off of them, because usually you can do sound wave things off glass, and then you take the vibration of what hits the glass and you can listen to it even if you have no listening device in the room. So all over Washington, D.C., there are special rooms that are called SCIFs. They're like secret compartmentalized, I forget what the acronym is, that are special. It's kind of like a walk-in vault that you can go in, and a SCIF has certain requirements. And some SCIFs are like super, super high, like in the White House, of course, the Situation Room is one of them. And I just thought it was so cool that they have vibrating windows, so you can't just use a sound wave thing to listen to what's happening off the glass. That's crazy. Just badass to me. Just as a first, like just because you said it. The second part is for the sound waves that melt people's brains and make their nose bleed and their ears bleed, like some Bond villain, right? When I went with the USO, they took me to Cuba years ago. And I've been all over the world with them. But right as we were going to Cuba, there were all these American, I don't forget, it was diplomats or soldiers or people that were stationed there that suddenly had these kind of like nosebleeds, ear bleeds. You can look it up and Google it. And no one knew how they were happening. And, again, it just sounds like a supervillain kind of weapon.
Yeah.
But I was freaking going to Cuba. And I was like, wait, this is me now. I don't want to go. Like,
right.
And I remember going there and just being like, am I supposed to, nothing, they couldn't find. And they still, to this day, I believe, they still don't know who was doing it or what was going on. But to the original thing you said, like the things we can do, you wouldn't believe what we can do. When you speak to presidents, and I've spoken to them, the one thing they all say is on that day that you come into office, and again, it's not like they give you this magical book that tells you where the aliens are, and like that's all nonsense. It's not like Nicolas Cage in the house, the Book of Secrets. Like,
damn.
But what they do give you, and this is the good part. This is not the damn for this, but you're gonna like this part. But what they all say is, but they start showing you what we're doing all across the world. And when you see that, what the military is doing, what the CIA, what the FBI is doing, like even here and there, that's when you realize that the whole entire United States is far bigger than you think it is. And what we're doing is far more involved. And on that day, that's why presidents age in dog years, because you see everything that's actually really happening behind the scenes. Yeah. We don't go into Venezuela and just say, hey, it's Saturday, let's go. The reason we get into Venezuela is because for the past X amount of years, we've spent hiding CIA guys in there. Those are ongoing operations so that when you change your mind and want to do this thing, you're already set. You don't put a new guy inside like, hey, man, here's Tom. He's coming to work today. Everything's normal, guys. Don't worry about it. It's and they're going to let him go in. Tom has to be there for 7 years. And everybody loves Tom. And everybody's Tom's pal. And no one knows that Tom's really working for us. I mean, we did this great thing. I used this in a book where we had a bunch of computers, United States computers, that we shipped. I believe it was like to Israel or some ally of ours. And then they all got stolen. And we were like, oh my gosh, they stole our computers and I can't believe it. And the bad guys got our computers. And then 6 months later, all those computers that the bad guys were using and stole for themselves all miraculously shut down and started sending all the information right back to the United States, thanks to Israel. And that was the plan all along, you dummies. We let you steal our computers so we can take all your stuff after you put all your data on it. Like, that's a really cool magic trick. that we've done. I used it in I think The Escape Artist in one of my books.
It was like the beeper bombs. Remember when they did and they killed all those guys? Remember the beeper bomb?
That's the thing, right? Those beeper bombs were crazy. Awesome. Those were like crazy ideas. They were like, but those aren't. There's so much stuff that's going on that we don't know about. And again, it's not nefarious. It's not like the thing. Like that's what it takes to run a government. And it is. I think the thing for me that's a little more stressful to me now, and I'll just be honest about it, is like, the world seems like it feels a little bit on fire right now. And I know politics here, like whatever your politics are, my friends who are Republicans, my friend, I go this week and I'll go on, everywhere from MSNBC to, I was on Fox News. I go to my friend Glenn Beck and I go to friends at NPR. Like we don't all disagree. I think on the extreme right, the extreme left, yes, you have people who just want to fight and throw bombs and do that. But the average American on whatever your politics are, we all want the same thing, right? We want our family to be safe. We want to be loved, and we want, and we want to love someone. We want our kids to have whatever they we have big dreams, and we all have hopes and dreams. And it feels like right now we're to me, the grand conspiracy right now is the one that is having us fighting, right? And there's a reason why certain politicians want you mad. There's a reason why cable news wants you mad. There's a reason why social media wants you mad. You want to know why? Because angry people vote. Angry people watch cable news. They're great for ratings.
Yep.
And man, angry people scroll on their phone. So if your social media just gave you things that made you happy and inspired you, you might go outside and actually have a nice day. But if you're pissed off, you know what you're going to do? Man, I got to see more of that. I'm mad. It's just good for the algorithm. And that's the story I think in 20 years from now, we're going to look back on and be like, these guys are just, it's good for business. We're good for business is us fighting. So instead of fighting with each other, man, take a moment and listen. Go follow. If you're just watching MSNBC or you're just watching Fox News, you're just watching CNN, that's your only form of entertainment, you are not an informed person. You are just being here in the echo chamber that's going to keep you pissed and keep you mad and keep you earning money for them, selling you ads. What you got to do is go look at something else that's opposite you. You're going to be so pissed and so mad at it. It's going to make you crazy. But you'll see that everyone just, in a strange way, there's going to be a couple good points that the other side makes. Because we all want the same thing. And I think, to me, the American dream is not about money or power. The American dream is about when you see someone being picked on, you use your voice and you say enough already. And I believe you can disagree politically and not attack each other personally. I believe you don't dance on someone's grave when they die, right? My mother always taught me you make the best of yourself not by ripping apart other people and kicking them when they're down. And I think the kinder and nicer, I know it sounds naive, but man, that's an idea worth fighting for, being a little kinder and nicer to each other.
Well, Brad, you said it awesome.
We love it when you talk to us, man.
Going back to being mad, I was going to make a joke. I love being mad, but if you go out into the world and outside of the internet and social media, like
pretty nice.
Yeah, you go to the grocery store, everyone's pretty polite to you and nice. No one's yelling at you. Like outside of the internet, and that's another whole other conspiracy theory or like the reality of how people communicate and how our human brains are meant to communicate and how we're living in this different show. We're living in this world that is like we were never meant to live in, and our brains don't understand, and it is screwing us up. And I'm optimistic about it. I think we come out of it, and then when I'm a grandpa, I'm going to be telling my grandkids, like, this is a weird time when we were introduced to social media and communicating with each other, and there was like this hard times when we came out. The world realized what it was. Hopefully that's the case, but
I love what you're saying. I'm gonna leave you with this. You just teed up the perfect story to end. I didn't think about it. Okay, so here's the story. This is the perfect story to end on. Years ago, I'm in an airport bathroom, and not a glamorous place, right?
Yeah.
And I'm washing my hands, and there's a guy next to me who's like 5 seconds in front of me, and as he goes out, I'm kind of like a couple steps right behind him. And he looks over at the janitor who's cleaning everything up, and he looks over at me and goes, "Thanks for keeping it clean." And I'm like, man, what a cool thing to say. I've never stopped and spoken to the janitor in a public restroom. Like, I didn't even think to do that. And what I started, of course, saying that. Whenever I go into any restroom, whether it's an airport or a fancy restaurant where there's a janitor, someone clean up, I always say, "Thanks for keeping it clean." But what I love about that is that I don't know who that guy was. He has no idea who I am. But that guy had such an impact on me. And for 20 years now, I've been going to every airport bathroom and every other bathroom and going, thanks for keeping it clean. And what I love the most about it is my son started saying it. And not because I asked him to. He heard me say it, and I caught him now saying that one time when I was walking and he was walking out. And I love, that's how the world works, right? Like, to me, all this stuff is like a boomerang, right? It's like the story I told you with my dad. Like, you take it and you throw it out there, and then it comes back to you years later. And sometimes it's in the love. Sometimes it's saying thank you to the janitor. Sometimes it's in just a book. You throw it out there and boom, 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 boom. It comes back and you get to catch it again. And listen, I love you guys, man.
We love you
That's
too,
a great
man.
way to
Brad,
end,
you
Brad.
are the best. We appreciate your time. Get the book, The Viper. And then there are other opportunities where maybe you can even interact with Brad, see him, and say hi. Hey, thank you as always for doing this.
Always good to see you, brother.
Yeah, we'll
good
talk to you
see
again,
too.
Brad.
Yeah, take care.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Sam.
See ya.
See you, man. I think we're making him late.
It's super
He's getting
impressive.
out of there
dude.
fast.
No,
Oh,
no,
I love that guy.
yeah.
Oh, that guy's
I can
so-
talk to that dude. I mean, that guy should do a podcast.
My God. You know what?
I'm listening to him and I forgot I was on the show for a second. I'm like, oh God, I'm on the show. I gotta say something.
I did the thing where I sat. Do you see me? I sat back in my
Okay,
chair.
what's
I
this,
never
do it all
sit
day?
back in my chair. Yeah, Brad's great. Get
All
the
right.
book. Here it is. It is. And you know, he's correct. I said this was the third. It may be the third, but as far as he's concerned, I think these characters are going to continue.
Yeah.
So you may want to get on the ground floor if you are looking for something fun to read. I know that this copy will be going to my wife. But #1 New York Times bestselling author, Brad Meltzer. Always a pleasure having him on the show. Also, get his kids' books. They're some of Maisie's favorite kids' books. They're normally for like littles. You know, they're like easy beginning reader type stuff.
Oh yeah, my son's.
But they're great.
Yeah.
They're great little books. So there
All
you
right.
go.
We will see you tomorrow. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. EJ's on the couch.
What's going on, guys?
We're doing some Nerd Jock. Oh, do you want to?
Yeah, I'll hit the theme song. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the 1st of 2026. It's Nerd Jock.
Nerds. Jack. Nerds. Jack. Nerds.
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
Jack.
It's Nerd Jock with EJ. How's it going, EJ?
It's going fantastic. I'm excited for the weekend coming up and Martin Luther King Day and all that stuff.
You look exactly the same as you do.
Are you trying to sell the fact that you were excited about Martin Luther King Day?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to go to the march in Liberty City.
All right.
Okay.
What are you guys going to do?
I'll be there too. I'll be there with you. I too will be at the bar. I don't know what you're talking about.
How dare you pry into my business? I show respect in my own personal way. By you even
celebrate
asking
the
is an
holiday that
insult.
way?
I prefer to stay at home and maybe keep it a little private.
Yeah. All right. So before we started the show, I was talking about to EJ about UM being in the national championship game.
Correct.
Next Monday.
And you were also saying I was being way too complimentary to him because I said he looked good. He lost 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So UM is playing Indiana. The spread's UM plus 8.5. So they're
And Indiana
looked really good against Oregon.
They
yeah.
looked like an NFL team to
I
me.
love their coach. I can't hate on the guy.
Indiana's
He's too fun.
quarterback's going to be the first round number 1 pick.
Yeah, that guy's a
Yeah,
stud.
Mendoza. Yeah.
And
He's a stud. He
so-
also
On the
looks like a dork.
So-
but stud.
Daniel was telling EJ you have to go. It's down at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami.
Well, my
Miami,
wife was
yeah.
even more adamant. I don't know
And it's
how.
on a Monday that's on Martin Luther King Day, so we have the day off, so it's easy.
I
Yeah.
thought you guys were talking about this in the Tom and Dan chat room, and then somehow my wife got wind that, she's like, you have to go. She's a sports person. You played at U of M.
Not only played, was on the last team on UM that won the national championship.
Boom.
So here's This is the conversation
You're
we
gonna
had.
confess this?
What do you confess this? This is
going to show how bad of a person you are.
No, it's not. This is logical to me. So if I'm a member of the 1972 Dolphins,
Okay.
right, and the only perfect season, we've all seen the thing. Every time there's a team that's unbeaten,
Pop the champagne as soon as someone loses.
yeah, and another team, right? So even if it is the Dolphins, I said that if I was on the 72 Dolphins, teams. And then the Miami Dolphins had an undefeated season. They made it to the Super Bowl, and I'm rooting for them in the back of my mind, maybe not publicly, for them to lose so I can still hold the record for having the only undefeated season. So I was asking you, so let's say you do go to this game, this championship game at Hard Rock.
I'll know on Thursday.
Which you should, by the way.
I'll know on Thursday. I made the request today.
You were a part of the last team that won a national championship.
Yep.
No other team has
Beat
won
Nebraska at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
Yep.
has won the national championship in So I was telling you, I was like, in the back of your mind, don't you kind of want them to lose so that you still can be a part of the last team that won the national championship? Because if they do win, then your legacy is dead.
Okay, let me
So,
just
like,
say. Let me
I
just
mean,
say
it's
this.
kinda dead
Okay,
now.
I've been on a team that did lose the national championship too. Remember, I was on the Fiesta Bowl team where we lost to Ohio State the next year.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
But I know how that feels. I don't want someone that I cheer for to have that feeling also.
Yeah, but you
And they beat Ohio State for me, so I'm super excited about this team.
Well,
Once
one
this
is a
team-
selfless decision, one is a selfish decision,
Yeah.
right?
Well, first, rooting doesn't mean anything. You don't have any magical powers. So it's not like you wanting one way or the other is going to affect any part of reality. So
Yeah,
who cares?
absolutely it can. Your attitude being
What?
there. Yeah, absolutely. This is the problem with all of your arguments across the board with everything you do.
You think EJ's attitude
No, you-
somehow affects the play on the
not
field?
the play on the field, but it
The
affects
vibe.
him
The
going
vibe
there.
with- yeah.
He doesn't believe in vibes, though, so just tread lightly. But I'm saying him going there, I definitely think him going there, I'm not saying it affects the guys on the field, but the other people around you aren't going to want to be around you when you do that. Because it's a selfish and horribly rotten thing to do.
No, I'm just saying, in the back of your mind, I'm saying, because you see what's going to
So
happen?
secretly, like you're running the numbers passively in your mind, you're a little happy that they lose.
Yeah. I mean, you've said
I don't think normal people make that statement.
No.
No, you said this before. The person taking over your job, like when we talked about with
Jobs are different.
That's
though,
different from- yeah.
That's different than a sports team.
Yeah, but you in the back of your mind, you root for them not to do as well as you did.
Jobs are different, though. I don't think you can
Because
compare
Daniel didn't
job.
pray that you failed at being a producer when you were still in the Monsters.
No, I
after
never
he
did.
left.
Yes, he did.
He was
I
really
know this
happy
man more
that
than
you didn't run
anybody.
any of those
Of
emergency
course he
broadcast
did.
things.
No, he
Oh,
did not.
I will bet my life he did.
he did not.
I know he did.
How would that help me? How would that help me if both of us?
It's emotional.
if
You
both
want
of-
me to
no,
fail.
No, if both of us, if you want me to answer the thing correctly, no, there's no way I did that.
But in the back of your mind, you
No.
want to be the last person on the team
No.
that's won
It
a national
depends.
championship. Because once they win, then your whole legacy is done, and you
It's
can.
not- no,
and
it
there's a
adds
little
to the
something-
list.
No,
it's
I
something
think
a little less special.
I
Okay.
think you're a little flawed in your statement because A, you've never been a part of a championship anything, so you can't speak on it.
Well, if I was, I'm
B,
telling you.
B, okay, that was
Yeah.
for you. B, I think if you played there and won, he's already been to the mountaintop.
Yeah.
So if these guys lose, all he does is share in their loss. He's not going to get anything out of that. If they win, they drag him along one
It's
more
come
time.
on along, yeah.
He comes along because he's already done it.
They'll
He's
have
already-
the shirt with
he's
the
already
extra
done it.
ring on it
No,
for next year's
yeah,
ring.
he's already done it.
Instead
No,
of
he's
5, it'll
already in
be
the club.
6.
No, but now their team wins. If now from if
No,
they
they're
win,
equal. If they got 2, if they've been there 2, then they're
No,
better. But like if you both win it, it's not. There's no better.
But if you're a part of the last team to win it, then that's still something.
There's
moving
more
forward.
arguments you can make.
And then
The
you're
only thing I would say is if they start saying this is the best team of all time,
You can't. The portal.
then
you
I
can't.
might say,
No.
okay, it's not the same.
No, it's not the same. The portal.
Yeah, the
it's
portal's
not
a different.
The same.
Yeah, with Carson
It's
Beck
not-
moving over.
It's the
yeah.
NFL. In fact, your championship. No matter what, your championship is a little better.
Yeah.
Even if they win, yours is a little
With all
better
those
because it was
studs that went
organic.
to the NFL
it was
and
an
Hall of
organic,
Famers.
old school championship.
Yeah, but no one looks like that. Looks at it.
I'm
like
looking
that.
at it like that right now, so you can't say no.
You're not
Okay.
a nobody.
All right. The majority of people, just like NFL records, they get broken.
Yeah.
It can't be compared because you have an extra week or an extra 2 weeks or whatever. But still, when they reference the all-time rushing champion or the all-time sack champion as Myles Garrett, they never say, it's Myles Myles Garrett with an asterisk.
I still like that sack.
I'm just saying when
He
they
went
say
down.
when they reference the all-time sack champion
For the season. Yeah.
they will always say Myles Garrett moving forward. They won't say Myles Garrett with an asterisk, like maybe some deep dive. But I'm saying
If you go deep dive and they go per game, I think it's better for the guys that had less games.
So there's something deep down inside. You want to be the last person for a member of the UM team that's won a national championship, because once this team, if they do win it, then it resets you, and then all those players are the last players to win a national championship, and it could go on for 50 years or something. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think like you that way. No.
Yeah, a lot of people
I'm
don't.
just going to let you
What?
know.
Everybody does. It makes perfect sense.
Everybody does. Perfect sense.
Anyway,
I do like the
You sound like a crazy person,
What are
which
you
I love.
talking about?
well,
I think that's the reason why Brad calls you guys.
if
'cause you're
makes
crazy.
if it makes you feel any better, I think they are going to lose.
Indiana looked
I've
really
teased
good,
them
but
down.
Oregon shut themselves in the foot a lot that game.
Indiana looked really
They look really
special.
good.
They look
See,
like
I
a
can watch
special
those games
team.
all day long because I have no stake in it. But
True.
I've been watching just someone tell me what's happening.
Can I
during the
ask
game.
you though? I mean, like you have been trying to exercise a little bit more, trying to be more present, spend time with your
Just
family.
eating my salads
It,
and-
it surprised me that he wasn't even watching the game. Like, I started watching the Miami game. He was finishing up some jujitsu with his son. I'm like, you're not watching the game?
He can't watch it because deep down inside he can't watch him win, because every win destroys him. Because
He's gonna keep going.
this is his whole identity. He's wearing the UM shirt everywhere, the polo, everything he does.
Yeah.
It's the only
Now
thing he's ever
now
gonna
he's
get.
walking into the identity.
Yeah.
It's his all he has.
It's
You
all
see,
I have.
as a person, a human being, this is all he's got. And then once UM beats this Indiana, if
Yeah.
it happens, then that little
The shadow gets bigger.
A little piece
Yeah.
gets taken away from him because he's no longer a part of the last team in Miami that's won a national championship. This new team is. So it's a little bit closer to the
Okay.
grave and a little
Yeah.
bit more irrelevant.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like Tom's starting to be like Vecna. Just
All right,
a
what
little
do you
bit
got?
evil.
What do you got?
Well,
for-
let's talk about football. How was you doing in your gambling this weekend? I know you lost the Steelers going 10-7, but still losing the first round of the playoffs.
You called the Steelers game though. I want to be on the record as saying that he was one of the only people that said that
I've been winning some money in the playoffs. I will tell you
Texas just
Really?
pretty
Yeah.
much put it
Did
down.
you bet against the Jags?
No, I didn't bet.
Because there was a lot of those were the only two upsets were those two, really, right?
Well, they were all away teams, were they not?
Well,
No, the Patriots won at Gillette, and what was the other one? The number 2 seed. And
I thought they were all away teams.
the
that won.
49ers beat the Eagles.
well, okay. Let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
Buffalo and Denver are playing. Is Buffalo
Bears
-1?
Bears won at home.
Yeah, and
Buffalo's the favorite -1.
yes, but I believe that's going to flip. By the way, I've been teasing the hell out of Denver, and I suggest everybody else does.
You don't think they're the truth?
I think that bye's going to hurt them. I think them taking a break is going to hurt them.
regardless, if I tease Denver up to 7.5, I mean they were plus 1.5. Now they're +1. And most of my other books, it's a pick'em game. So Hard Rock Bet is the only the book that I have, and I've got 7 different ones that have Denver as an underdog. So
Really?
I like teasing
The
Denver
irony
up.
of this being the only books you read.
Yeah, and then I like pairing them with Seattle and teasing Seattle down to -1.5 because Seattle's a -7.5 favorite
Yep.
right now, playing a hurt San Francisco
49er
team.
doesn't have anybody except for CMC.
Yeah, and
He does
Kittle's
look
out.
good.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah,
good.
he's always good.
Yeah, but if you can't win
with no
with one
Kittle.
good player,
and Purdy's going to
and
do
no,
Purdy stuff.
and
I
no,
didn't-
no one on their defense. And so anyway, I think that's a good bet. Also, we have Houston and New England. We watched Houston destroyed Pittsburgh.
Houston's defense looked amazing, but so did the Patriots' defense. Looked good against the Chargers.
Yeah, but now
Herbert was down on the ground the whole game almost.
Christian Gonzalez got a concussion. He's probably not going to play this, and he's our best defensive player.
Yeah.
Who's he might be on the O line for Texas, Smith. He's a ginormous, mega fat guy. Have you seen this guy?
Oh, yes, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
humongous. He's 11
We
year.
were talking about a vet.
He's an 11-year veteran there, and
He's got a big old leg brace. He's the
but-
biggest human. I mean,
He's the
standing
biggest
next
man I've ever seen.
standing next to NFL players, he looks
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
But next to the refs, he looks like Andre the Giant. Seriously, like, oh my God.
TJ Watt was like making him look foolish.
Yeah.
Because he's so little comparatively, and he was like, "You're hitting yourself." He'd like slap, and then run around him, and then he'd just stand there like a big fat giant in Game of Thrones, like
It's a mountain.
yeah. Oh, that guy was it's the biggest person I've ever seen play football.
I like it when the tackles like obviously take a step before the ball is snapped, and then it just lets it.
Yeah, they let it go.
The refs let it go.
They did that so many times this weekend.
A lot.
The Chiefs are notorious for doing this, but I think it's like your little way to cheat the system. Like it just you start
It's just
to
like
kick
a quarter second before
Yeah,
the
yeah,
snap.
it's almost a millisecond.
Yeah, but only in slow down you see it, but live it's hard to see.
Did you get through your list? So what are we thinking on all of these?
Okay.
Yeah, it's the 49ers, Seattle, Rams, Bears, Bills, Denver, and the Texans and the Patriots. Those are the games this weekend.
So it's hard to like I don't.
Two each day, two Saturday,
You
two
got a
Sunday.
team you like following? Like, do you have a team in there that you're excited to see? I'll throw one out there, and this is weird coming from an Atlanta fan, but Patriots.
Really?
Cool to see the Patriots.
The Patriots look good.
Yeah, cool to see
Plus,
the
I like
Patriots.
Vrabel as a coach.
But I do too.
Cool to see the Patriots do well in the Super Bowl. We've watched that for 20 years. Get them the hell out of here.
Yeah, but we don't have a
You'll be
Chiefs or an
fine.
Eagles that we've had for the past 5 or whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It does feel different.
Tell you the truth, I'd rather see Seattle in it because they looked really good. But Sam
we've
Darnold,
seen that before.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want,
I-
Mr. Grumpy?
What do you want?
Okay, the best story and the best storyline is that
Bears, Texans?
is that Buffalo, obviously, because Josh Allen's been great for so long.
No,
And
he has a hot wife. I don't care if he wins.
Yeah, but it's just
Look his wife up.
the story
Haley Steinfeld.
and how
The
good
chick
he's
from Sinners.
like. I want to see him make a Super Bowl, and then it's hard. So like the more years you don't, the more the
Do you want the
chances are
Bills
you
to
won't.
lose another one? That'd be kind of good story as well.
That was a really good sports analogy rhyme you just said.
Yeah.
The more games you don't mean the more games you won't.
So I would like, just for pure entertainment,
Okay.
a Buffalo Bears Super Bowl, just because the Bears
The
haven't
Buffalo Bills, you idiot.
and that's unlikely to happen.
That would be good, though.
That
but
would be a good
that
Super
would be
Bowl,
really
but
good.
it'd be fun to watch. But
And you're also tapping into two, I think,
fan bases
that are
really
huge
rabid.
and rabid.
Yes.
Yeah. The Bears fans that were at the Hollywood Guitar Hotel.
Yeah.
With the Bears fans were the funniest. They were just wild.
Really?
They were
Over the
just
Packers
wild.
fans? The Packers fans
Packers fans are
travel
everywhere. There's too
yeah.
many of them. The Bears fans are just crazier.
Yeah.
And just
Less of
because
them.
we've seen even Denver, obviously, they've got a good, insane defense this year, and Sean Payton, and that story is interesting. But we've seen Denver.
What do you think, old Bo Nix?
We've seen San Francisco. We've seen Seattle. Even though that's a pretty good story too. We've never seen Houston. I doubt that. Houston, New England, or
I
whatever.
like their
but,
coach too.
and I know the Bears have been in the Super Bowl within the past, 20 years, because I remember watching them at Tiffany's place, or Tiffany's mom and dad's place back.
Oh,
in
Maui's, yeah.
I remember when Devin Hester ran back
With
kickoff.
Rex Grossman as the
Yeah,
quarterback.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's
I
like,
love some Devin Hester.
He's a hurricane.
but
Played for the Falcons for a hot second.
For a little bit, yeah.
anyway.
What else you got?
So let's.
Well, we talked about the national championship, so we got to talk about the Magic playing in Germany. Have you seen that story? They're going to play on the 15th.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty cool to see the guys go back there.
Wagner's going to play his first game there, which is
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
When we're trying to win games,
They're in the head of the Southeast. They're first place.
But we've been a little shaky. I
Yeah.
prefer to play things at home and no travel. So not to add to
'Cause
the
that could take you
grumpiness,
out
but
of
I'm
here,
a
yeah.
grumpy Magic fan. I'm like, we don't need to be doing this. Is it cool? Yes, it's extremely cool, but I really don't care about it. I prefer them not travel, stay in Orlando and win games. That's what I want.
Hold on. Let's just say I stayed as the morning show producer, right?
I'm not going to let it go. Yes, I love digging
And then
in.
I was
It's about me rooting against you.
And
Yeah.
then, so you had been the morning show producer for, let's say, how long? Like 8 years, the longest running producer.
I would have
or
to
whatever.
know and care about that to actually. Okay.
let's
Do
say
you
you did
honestly
care.
think I was like, I'm the oldest running producer of this shit?
Let's say
Yeah.
you did care, and then like you left, and then or you retired.
Yeah.
As the longest running Orlando morning show producer, right? And then then I get the job after you. You're like, okay, but I'll never, like, you're like, Tom will never make it to, 10 years like I did or whatever.
Right.
So then on year number 9, right? And some mix-ups are happening, and then they start letting people go.
Yeah.
In the back of your mind, you're like, oh, please.
I hope he misses a dump button. I hope he misses a dump button. No, he's not cheering for that.
Now, does it count
You
that
want to hold your legacy.
Does it count that I hold the legacy because here I am the producer and have done this longer than that?
No, I'm just saying you want to hold this legacy.
No, I still
and this
do.
other
Like,
thing.
even right now, I
but this is a
produced
different
this.
show. A different show.
Yeah, but it's still a producer in the Orlando Escape. That was what you were laying out there.
See,
so I would be redoing that right here.
Like,
do you do this to other people? Like, is this how you
do you
live
cheer
your life?
for other people's downfall?
Yeah, do you? Because it really
it doesn't
is.
matter.
He does cheer against me getting fat again.
It's an
so there you go.
It's an insanely passive. It's like I feel passively.
What you want.
I feel passively that every minute of the day you fill your mind with rottenness. That's what I think you do.
No, but in your mind.
Why passively root against people?
Who
Because
cares?
it doesn't help you.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. It
helps
doesn't.
EJ if you doesn't win.
Only if you
What do you mean, no?
subscribe.
It has to.
I don't feel that way.
Only
Who cares how you feel?
Only if you subscribe to the idea that if somebody else wins, you lose. And I don't subscribe to that idea.
it's not a zero-sum game.
If you subscribe to that idea, you're an amoeba. You're
got-
like a one-cell organism. That is not true.
We have to take calls now. I gotta hear it from other people.
What?
'Cause I think
Nobody
you're-
believes that.
I
No,
think you're
there's not
insane.
one person secretly riding around wondering that every little
No, but it's like someone's-
interaction that they have in life, that they're the winner and the best at everything because they want other people secretly and passively to fail all around them.
I don't cheer
That's
for
an
my enemies to
insane
fail.
way to
No,
think.
no, you're twisting my words. I'm saying, like, imagine you held a record, right? And then someone's about to break the record.
But it's not a
close.
record. It's different teams winning a national championship each year. It's not like they go,
But he's the
They're
last
based-
one.
No,
though.
but it's
They're
never
part of my
been-
fraternity, basically.
Correct.
A fraternity of
Same team.
Miami Hurricanes. If I win, they win. If they win, I win.
I'd have to talk to a person that's still alive from the 72 Dolphins.
No, but they prove
because
it every day.
Larry Zonka, he can call up.
Zonka for sure. If the Dolphins were undefeated one year, Zonka for sure in his head. It's like, please lose. For sure.
No, he's not.
I know
Oh,
Zonka.
the only thing he's gonna hate-
Who's the cocaine guy that played for the
Michael
Cowboys?
Irvin.
Why is Michael Irvin on the
Or
sidelines?
Newton.
He's not on the sidelines rooting against Miami actively. He's there to be part of the brotherhood.
Him, Ray Lewis.
That's why you're so wrong
All
on
those
this.
guys,
None of
yeah.
these guys are there because they want the team that's actively on the field to fail so they can be the winners. They're there to be a part of the fraternity. That's why you're so short-sighted on this.
Michael Irvin is different because he is famous for a million other things,
Yeah,
and like
3
it
Super
just
Bowls
doesn't matter.
with the Dallas Cowboys.
This is
yeah.
this is all EJ's got. Like this is like different. I'm not saying other people do this. Like I
You know I do
Jeremy
other things other than that.
Kellen Winslow in jail. Like he's rooting against him for sure.
You know I'm a father
You
and
and
stuff.
Kellen
I do
Winslow.
other things other than this.
First, you and Kellen Winslow a lot alike.
No, not even close.
And,
in a lot of ways.
And both of you should be rooting against UM this Monday. That's all I'm saying.
Psycho.
All right, we figured it out.
All right.
I know. I've been saying this
The
for
chat
years.
room agrees with me.
Tom's the bad one for sure.
Not
now.
one person
It's,
in the chat room.
it's
Yes, they all
definitive
agree
at this
with me. Call in. I'll talk to you. All right.
point. Okay, let's go to nerd stuff. I know we talked about a little bit of Stranger Things, the finale.
Yes.
What'd you think about
have
it?
you seen the
the memes where they're saying there's a
have you-
secret episode?
No, have you seen the secret video that some people got of Barb? The girl that played Barb, the actress that played
Yeah, they
Barb.
died in the pool.
Yeah, they died in the pool. The
The one
first,
that became
the
a
first kid to
Demogorgon,
die.
like,
so
slug
they
factory.
found her. They found her at like one of these cons, and somebody secretly filmed her, and nobody's in her line, and she's just sitting there with a sign behind her that says Barb.
That's weird
it's
because
sad.
Barb it became
She's
a
a big
meme,
deal.
And like taking a picture with Barb, I feel like I would do it.
I think
just-
it's been reframed. I think that was it was slow at that moment, but I think most of the time she's pretty get a lot of people.
Yeah,
It probably was like a Sunday when everyone's already closed up all their shops
They
and stuff
tried
like
to frame
that.
it and make her look stupid, and that's what you're getting a lot now.
Yeah,
is that,
manufactured media.
Yeah,
I
like
get that.
people are going and trying to make Barb actively look dumb, but
Why?
Yeah, I don't. Cause, why not?
so.
But I liked it. I
People-
like the ending.
people-
I'm one of the few people that
As
likes
we
the
just
endings.
learned
Yeah.
in the last segment, people like seeing other people fail.
no, I don't. It's
I totally agree with Tom though. There's way too much talking during the apocalypse. Like I totally agree with your like, hey, let's have a little heart to
you didn't
heart
like that, did
when
you?
stuff is going down, when there's time on the clock. What are you doing?
It became distracting
Every single time.
because
Will and his mom, freaking telling everyone he's gay, all that stuff. Spoilers.
I already accidentally spoiled. I thought that was known.
I think that's obvious. I don't. If anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
there's
look at
been
his
so
hair.
many memes of it that
Well,
at this point, if you haven't seen it,
I think why people the corniness of it is like, all right, let me sit everybody down before we try to save ourselves from this plane that's crashing. Blah blah blah. I don't want to ruin anything, but like the most stressful situation where time is of the essence.
yes, we gotta climb a huge tower in a couple seconds.
He's pulling it down like this, and we're about to almost. I mean, we definitely could easily all die doing this.
Humanity is depending on us to save everybody.
The world could end. You see what I'm saying here? And you're like, wait, now before we do this, and we're all about to die, I gotta tell you, boy or girl. No, who cares? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Without
it's like-
spoiling, he's kind of doing
No,
stuff.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, the person be like, we gotta go.
What are you doing? We don't got time
Who
for this. I wanted the guy that what is his name? I can't think of the guy. The guy that was always bringing us supplies. Lenny or something like that,
Yeah,
or Denny
yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that. If he would have said, "We don't got time for this. We got to go,"
Yeah,
I would
of
have
course.
loved that.
Yeah, and so
Cut off your monologue.
And I guess in a situation like this, listen, I'm no writer, and the Duffer Brothers are way more creative than I'll ever be. And most of anybody that is giving criticism to the Stranger Things, you'll never be like, what else are you gonna do?
What am I right?
I like
Yeah.
you're a Monday morning quarterback. You're saying like, I would have done things different. Like, yeah, would you have? Like, you don't know. And so like, I guess the way they did it is their art. They had to have done it that way, but it was distracting and kind of corny and ridiculous at a certain point in time with how many emotional conversations they were having during time-sensitive, crazy moments in the show.
But they insist, like the Duffer Brothers insist that they always had the ending. They knew exactly where they were going. It wasn't like, because there are the shows where we as the audience, I know we can feel that they don't know where they're going. Okay. And we know what that's like. We know some of those shows where like
like they always
they don't know where they're going here. The Duffer Brothers supposedly this was always. You don't believe that? What do you?
Well, no. I have an issue with. I'm trying to figure out how to say this without spoiling.
Yeah,
the
don't
ending.
spoil it.
I'm trying to think of. Do you remember the end of Total Recall? Where
which one? Newer?
The original one.
Okay.
With Arnold.
Of course I do.
Okay, yeah.
I remember the three
Yes,
Ps
of course.
the most, and then Daniel
It
does
goes 3 T's that
the claymation,
and then pulling the head
bullseye.
off, and then throwing it at somebody. We'll get ready for a surprise. Yeah. Okay. At the end of that movie, was it all in his head or was it not?
Oh, I always thought it was all in his. What am I supposed to?
No. I'm just saying with that movie, with Total Recall,
I always thought it was all in his head.
he was all in his head, and it was just gonna go. He was gonna go. He was lobotomized in that chair.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go with just like a lot of movies, it's up for interpretation.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
And
Yeah.
it could be and it couldn't be, which is kind of a lazy way out in writing. The Duffer Brothers. If I,
That's what I'm trying to say without saying.
Hey,
Yeah.
I like it. I do like it when you pick a side.
I mean,
I do
totally.
like that. Yeah.
Sopranos did this,
Yeah.
and then it's like, did they shoot him? Did he go
Yeah.
out?
Are
of,
they
you
all
know,
dead, or is it just
it
fades to black and we're not sure?
Lots of movies do this where the ending kind of, it's like whatever you choose it to be, and that's fine.
You know what doesn't do that? Is was it Brightburn?
Oh, with a fake Superman?
Where the
with
kid
evil
was
Superman?
the evil Superman? You ever
Yeah.
seen that movie?
I have. It's called Brightburn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wears like a hood on his face.
Yeah, he's like a
and
little farm kid.
scary
The whole story
Superman.
is Superman. A boy comes and lives on a farm.
It's Homelander.
Yeah.
If Homelander was a kid and he was really evil at the beginning.
But man, I watched that recently. Like I went in the Playback Machine and I watch movies that are 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I was not. That ending is an ending.
It's rough.
An ending.
Yeah.
They did an ending. They
Yeah.
chose, and that's a good example. Without me, I'll say it right there. It's an ending, but they picked a side. They were like, you know what? We're not going to leave this up for interpretation.
Yeah.
We're going to let this.
You're going to either
burn.
happy or
We're
sad.
gonna let
Yeah.
this burn.
Yeah.
So let's say
A Brightburn. Was it Brightburn? Burn Bright? Whatever it's called. Brightburn.
let's say Good Sauce with Ross and Joel become the next Orlando's greatest podcast. And then everybody's talking about
What
it.
happened? No, this happened. It happened last year with the weekly. We did not win. We did not win.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. The podcast that won is that no one even heard of.
No one even on the listing as far as they got the plaque.
Nah.
I think it's a perfect example. They won the championship.
No one would agree. If you took a poll, I know the truth. But I'm just saying, like,
Got it in writing.
let's
Do they
say,
need a monthly segment with a nerd and a jock in there?
let's say another podcast started getting popular again, and they're the new hottest thing, and
Yeah.
people, and they were winning their wars and stuff, and then
Yeah.
people start calling them the Orlando's greatest podcast, and we're gonna be like,
have-
oh, what the hell?
Well, in order for me to be upset about that, we would have to be called Orlando's greatest podcast.
Yeah.
Lucky for us, we are not.
well,
So
that's
it
why
doesn't-
I call it that in my head.
It does not affect me.
I want to show it the greatest show that ever.
This show should be called Nerd Jock and Why Tom is the Crazy One.
Yes.
EJ, that's all he's got. Anyway, all right.
That's not all I have. I'm a father.
I mean, that is the only thing I agree with Tom on. It is all you got. Okay, I do
Thank you,
disagree with
thank you.
Tom. I disagree with him in the argument, but I can't let you lie to my friend. It is all you have.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna dig my heels in
protect
when I
you a
need
little
to.
bit, yeah.
But when you're
Business
right,
partner,
look,
yeah.
when you're right, you're right.
So that's it with Stranger Things. There's
Okay,
going to be
yeah.
no more. Is there going to be any spin-offs? Because
Supposedly there's spin-offs, yes.
there's still value in the brand.
I
and
think
that's
what they're going to do is a prequel, because remember the rock. Oh, I can't. Well, can I say this? The rock that was in his hand in the cave.
you can't say that.
I can say that. It's not that much of a spoiler without saying who it was. That kind of says
You don't say who it is.
Yeah, if you know the story, you know what I'm talking about.
Do you think they spin it off with a different
It's
generation?
prequel. I think they do prequel and do Vecna's like origin and kind of what happened.
But this, like, if they do prequel, do they do it with a 70s style? Because the whole show.
Yeah. Oh no, 50s, because it was
50s,
during
okay.
his
The
time.
50s, yeah.
Because they also
Now,
did that
did
play.
that
They
would
already did a
work.
play. Yeah.
But would it? Because the 80s is prime.
50s is good music.
Middle
Yeah.
age, yeah, but so many more of the target demographic.
Yeah.
would,
People in their 40s
would
were
recognize
born in
with
the
the
80s and 70s. Yeah.
And then the 50s, I mean, a lot
Most of
of
them are
people
gone, yeah.
are gone, and then don't have that connection with the 50s nostalgia that they do with the 80s. And that was part of, I mean, a huge part of Stranger Things' success was the nostalgic part of, like,
for sure.
borrowing
That was the
from
hook.
Yeah,
borrowing
everything that was from our
movies.
childhood was in that show.
Well, that's what got us
Yeah.
into it, right?
Yeah, that
I mean,
was what
that's
grabbed
why we
me,
were
yeah.
there to begin with.
I say you do a sequel and reboot in the 90s because that.
Oh, 90s to burn hot.
Because
Yeah.
think about it, it's been 10 years since the Stranger Things started, so
Since it started,
everybody's
yeah.
aged and stuff. Like, you do something from the 90s, you're recapturing the same demo you did at the beginning of Stranger Things.
Yeah,
if
but they
makes
did that
sense.
with the 70s show, and then they did the 80s show, and that thing failed hard.
I think you could do
I want to
a
do
90s.
all black Stranger Things. All black.
I have a story. Actually, you know what? That just brings me on one of my other stories. They're going to do a Burbs. Do you remember the Burbs? Tom Hanks and Corey Feldman were in the movie where they were in a neighborhood.
I do remember
And there
the
was
Burbs.
a crazy
Hold on,
murder
Corey
house.
Feldman wore that army jacket in that
Yes,
movie, right?
and like
Yes, the Burbs is an
the pizza man's here, man.
That's an
yeah.
The Burbs is
The
an
Burbs is
underrated 80s
amazing.
movies. That's a good movie.
Where the neighbor was doing something
He was-
crazy.
they thought that he was a killer,
They
and
thought
they're
it was
like,
bodies.
because they found like a femur in his backyard, and
Yes.
the dog brought the femur over to him.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember
And it
that.
turns out he was doing something.
Spoilers
Yeah.
for a 30-year-old,
Just saying.
The
40-year-old
Burbs is
movie.
a good
It was
80s
fantastic.
movie.
Well, they're going to make a television show on Peacock, and it's going to be different. It's Keke Palmer.
Keke Palmer? Oh, nice.
Keke Palmer is the main character, and she's supposed to be like the Tom Hanks like stand-in kind of.
Well, it was
but she's
kind of
black in a
funny.
white neighborhood, so
Yeah.
it's a little bit of more tweak to it,
So
but
like
it kind of
a
looks
Black
interesting.
Burbs? I'm into that.
Yes, and it's a series, and it's still kind of the same plot. Like there's someone moves into the murder house, and
That's
you know
cool.
the energy vampire from What We Do in the Shadows. He's
Yes.
in it too.
Oh.
So I'm kind of
This might
excited
be
about
really
it.
good.
It's on Peacock, so
Okay.
it's worth watching, I think.
All right.
That's
a great suggestion.
Do you know if they said it?
It starts February 8th, 2026.
Okay, it's close.
Yeah,
It's close.
soon.
Because a lot of writing they have to set social
Cell
media
phones
and
and
cell
social
phones,
medias, yeah.
because like the suspicion, like, so let's say your neighbor moves in and they're suspicious, like current day times you would just start researching them on the internet
Maybe.
and
Or
then, you know what I'm
and
saying,
the Viper, maybe they're doing that. And they're just Witness protection.
Yeah, it's but then it's easier to write with if it's pre the internet and social media, and then they have to research them by actually breaking into the basement to see what's in there, or like what I'm saying? Because
there's no Zillow app where you can see what's inside the house.
Yeah. It's more of an interesting story pre-internet, and I wonder if they do that or not. We'll see.
I think I'm so stupid that if you just did it and pretended like there was no internet, I'd be like,
or just pretend that universe doesn't have it.
Yeah. Because I'm
kind of like Fallout.
I'm not the type of viewer that will be watching it and be like, oh man, they could solve a lot of this by just getting on Google.
Well, that's what they did with The Walking Dead. There was no zombie media for The Walking Dead before it happened. That's part of that universe.
I ruined everything in my life with that.
With the internet?
That's not fun.
Crystal,
there's no magic, and you ruin the magic every single time.
Crystal, over the weekend, I was watching a playoff game, and she's like, well, "Who are you rooting for?" I'm like, "I just need either the Bears or the Packers not to win by over 7.5."
Oh my God. She's like, the things you're wishing for are insane.
She's like, "What?"
You are an accountant that cares about numbers more than you care about emotions.
I'm like, I teased both sides, so I got plus 7.5 on the Bears and the Packers. So as long as they both don't win by 7.5, I win. She's like, you've taken the fun away from everything in your life.
No, like that's threading the needle. I can see that side of it for sure.
Exciting, I guess.
Yeah,
you're riding the lightning a little bit.
But anything like that, I'll watch a movie. I'm like, well, why? If they have a question, I'm like, well, put it in your phone. And
but that's funny because you say that all the time, but you don't have ChatGPT on your phone. Like you'll tell me.
You to do it.
He'll be like,
you're his ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Well, he was doing that earlier. He was seeing if any team has won the championship at their home stadium before.
He
was doing that a little bit ago.
Staring at his phone. He's staring in a circle.
And then he's going to accept whatever AI tells him, even though it might be wrong.
You have to double research. You have to
do a
read
double,
it and double research it. Yeah.
I'll die by what it says 100% of the time.
What else?
Okay, the other thing. Have you seen the Avengers trailers? I know they've only been in front of the Avatar's new movie. They've been putting in front of that, and I think they were doing that to bolster its numbers.
The fire
which
Avatar
I don't
lady,
like. Yes,
the fire Avatar lady, the skinny fire Avatar, the mean one.
Yeah,
in the commercials.
Yeah,
it's like that. She makes me horny.
Yeah, I can see that.
The tall fire Avatar, long braids.
The fact that they did a water one and now
they're
fire,
doing fire.
that's just like it's
you
so.
Like it?
They're gonna do wind and then they're gonna do earth.
It's
corny. They're gonna do Airbender probably.
It's corny. You know what I'm saying? Like
who's most powerful? Fire. Everyone knows that. Fire's the most
Fire
powerful.
Nation. Yeah.
It's just like I'm like, of course you did fire. You did water, fire, and there's like.
It would be weird if they did like fire, water, earth, and then the last one they did like marzipan.
Kind of like Captain Planet.
Sprite, the soda, Sprite. This whole Avatar they're all created.
I'll do a deep dive on Captain Planet. I saw one of my mini documentaries, like Tom always says.
Yeah,
and they were talking about how Ted Turner made Captain Planet just to be a horrible person.
What do you mean?
It was basically he was going after people he hated and used Captain Planet as his tool to go after them.
So if there was like an environmental,
the greedy business guy, the oil barons and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
so
do a deep dive on it. You'll find some stuff out.
All right.
But going back to Avengers Doomsday, you haven't seen any of the new trailers, like for the X-Men one or
I honestly
Thor,
think that they put out so much of it, and this is just for me, not for Marvel people, because I know you guys are all out there and you love it. There was so much of it, and you all insisted on me to watch it so much, and like, oh, you got to watch it, and then you shoved it down my throat, and the Gauntlet of Eternity or whatever.
And too much homework.
And the jewels, and it's so much that now I hate it all. Now when I see it, if you're like, hey, new Marvel movie, I'm like, no, thank you, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's overly interconnected now.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I
can see that.
I don't. I'll just go with an original story.
And you're probably like me, you're like a completionist, and if you don't know everything, it's going to bother you. I hate stuff like that.
No, I'm more of a 2-hour gooner. I never complete.
Do you think Deion Sanders wanted Travis Hunter to be successful?
or Devin Hester?
He did.
No, playing both sides. He's like, I'm the one that plays both sides, and I know I've done it.
He would call him and help him out. Yeah.
He was a mentor to him.
Right. In the back of his mind, he wanted to fail.
We point out facts, and he just says, nah.
And when he blew his ACL out.
Kind of sounds like somebody else you know, right?
Yeah,
when you point out facts, and they're like, no, facts don't matter. I do what I want.
Well, a lot of people like that guy. But also when he blew his ACL out, of course, Neon Dion was like, yes.
I don't think it was.
He's like, couldn't do it like me. I did it.
That makes it. Who do you think you are?
In the back of his mind. He didn't do it publicly. I'm just saying in the recesses of his mind. All right, what's the
You'll never know. You'll never know.
What's the last
Well, the last
one?
thing I have is Pokemon is doing Lego is doing new Pokemon. They used to be Duplo, and now they're doing Lego.
Well,
Remember they
it's-
were doing those off-brand Legos?
Well, no, Duplo is a Lego
no,
product.
I can't think of what the name
What's
of the brand
interesting
was.
about it is like they did start. That's smart. They started doing like Pokemon like with the younger Lego, and now it's just growing.
Yeah.
With them, but yeah, aren't they supposed to do a bunch?
Yes, there's one. It's like
different-
$649 for all the Kanto Starters Final Evolutions all together.
Yeah, it's one of those.
And it's like 3,000 pieces.
It's one of those ones that Tracy, that works with us, buys. Her husband and her son are addicted to Lego, and they buy like the $400 Death Star and
Yeah,
the $200
yeah.
Titanic, and
the
like
Executor Darth Vader ship that's huge.
I mean, like, I am glad that you
Or
and
the
I
Home Alone house.
I have the Home Alone house. That one I
really?
have.
Yeah.
That one I have. And in fact, that one I have the
Oh,
Home
yeah,
Alone
that's
house,
right.
and I have it with lights. Like we
Yeah, I
even bought
remember
the
you
light
told me
kit
about
to
this,
light
yeah,
it
yeah.
up.
Does it come with a prostitute now? Because the guy got.
I know,
Still
right?
slitting a prostitute.
We didn't. No, we never. That never made the
You
show.
never talked about Marv, right?
Daniel Stern.
Yeah. Leave him.
Yeah,
No,
leave him alone.
he's listening to prostitutes.
Have you looked at him? He looks like a
He
man
needs
that
to.
needs a prostitute.
Yes.
So leave him
Leave him
alone.
alone. Yes.
Yeah.
Why is that news?
And that's entrapment, by the way, because the only way you get him is by putting a police officer and you put the hottest one. At
Yeah.
that, and then
I didn't see her. Was she hot?
Well, I'm just guessing. Like that's.
I
really,
want to see a picture of the one
that's the
that
only
got him
way
in trouble.
That's the only way you get caught soliciting a prostitute is the officer is the prostitute, right? And they put her on the
Sometimes.
street.
Or they hear it nearby, or they do a tunnel scenario where they're in the booth next
Yeah,
to him.
but as you normally they put the female officer out there and then dress her up like a hooker, and then she walks the street, and
Yeah.
then you arrest every poor.
But you can
bastard.
get out of no. You can get out of that. You're like right as she unzips you, you say you ain't a cop. If you say
They
that,
have to tell you the truth.
They have to tell you the truth.
Which is total BS.
And then one of the wet bandits is driving, and he's like, "See, he's like way better than the normal crackies that are out there."
What, if you get
being
Daniel Stern?
prostitutes. No. I'm thinking of the actual prostitutes. Have you seen like actual streetwalkers?
How young
on,
was she?
I used to live on OBT and I'd drive by them all the time. I'm like, well, I have to.
I used to see him all the time going past
Yeah,
Florida
I'd have
Mall.
to be
Yeah.
Daniel Stern.
I'm just saying, at the level.
No, you're closer to Joe
I'd
Pesci.
have to be a completely disgusting, sticky bandit to do that.
I'm just saying the level of desperate I'd have to be
Yeah.
to stop and maybe a hammer mouth. I'll get that from anybody. Really.
What about just a hand? That's the way I think.
A hand?
As
Yeah.
as
but
an
you should go
older
to his
man,
massage parlor.
as a 49-year-old man, I think in terms of hands now, because I feel like as a 49-year-old man, I've seen it all. If I only had to have hands until I die, that's okay.
No.
It's not best.
A hand is the
It's not
worst.
the
I'd
no,
rather-
somebody
no.
else's hand is fantastic.
Sometimes I'll beg for the hand, and then when she's doing it, and I'm like, it's not gonna happen. Because
Hey, I take too many supplements. I take too many running supplements, and I have a dead weenie.
it's like I don't even want this. Not for my old wife. Maybe for someone new.
It's like having an old witch. Like having an old
Yeah.
witch trying to turn on a lamp.
Yeah. Actually, you're mad about it. I can tell. The problem
Why
with
are you
the-
frowning? Turn the corners of your mouth
Yeah,
up. a little.
the problem with the hand, you gotta look at their face.
No, I don't look at their face. I look right at the hand.
Yeah, look at that.
Anyway,
You know the weird thing about my wife when she does hand? I have to have her put a Michael Jackson glove on.
See, my wife never does the hand.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
never.
you gotta try it.
No.
Well, yeah.
Michael Jackson glove.
Well, that's a begging scenario. No one wants to do the hand. The wife,
Because
it's
it
like,
becomes this. It's like, can I do the X? And then they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no. And they're like, can I do mouth? They're like, no. Then you're like, come on, hand. And they're like, okay.
yeah. But then when they're doing the
No,
hand, you're
yeah.
like, mouth. I knew it. I'm sorry. Oh, don't stop the hand. No, I ruined it.
Yeah.
I got too
And then I'm
greedy.
embarrassed. And then I run into my toilet. I slide the slide door. I hide.
Yeah. I always get too greedy.
Of course, you're supposed to. Push the envelope. How do you think it worked when you were a kid?
Yeah. You're just like, oh,
We've been
one
classically
step
conditioned.
forward.
And then while I'm hiding, embarrassed that my wife, didn't use her hand on me, and I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if I wonder if Good Sauce with Joel is a better sauce. Right, and then I'm
show
like,
ever.
are they the new hot thing? Are they the champ now?
Yeah, I
And
gotta
then
see
makes
it
me
out
mad,
there.
And then I was like, Tom was right.
Or giving Ross Tots with Ross on
Yeah.
your show, and
I'm like,
you
maybe-
gave him an opportunity to pass you up. That's
and then
not
I'm
good
like,
too.
Maybe they're right.
He's
Maybe-
addicted to gambling, so you don't got to worry
You know
about
what
that.
it is? It's the fact that some people think by rooting mentally for something to happen, they have some sort of effect over the reality, and I have no relation with that. Like what I want to happen has no relation to what's going to happen. So I think it's
I think
totally
the exact
meaningless.
opposite. If I want something, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the same.
That's just as crazy. I know.
You're on
Just
the
as
same
crazy.
page
I know.
if you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it.
So that's
Then
why
then
you don't do
get
it.
Then you
I know.
get it.
Like the
right.
Bears versus the Bills in the championship game in Super Bowl.
Yeah, we want
Yeah.
that, but we probably
Probably
will
not
not
gonna
get
get it. Yeah.
that. So, anything to plug?
No,
No.
he's got nothing. I'll say
I have nothing.
Well, that's all he's got. You said that multiple
Well,
times.
EJ,
Oh, Venmo me some money so I can go on my Australia trip and go first class.
no one is going to do that.
No one's gonna do it. I'm
No
sorry
one
not
wants
doing
that.
it.
I don't want that. For a
I'm
guy
losing
that I
weight,
know.
so I don't need the seat. I don't need the big seat.
I'll be mad
anymore.
if you're first class. Because I'll be like, I don't get to go first class. Everybody thinks that way.
I kind of agree with that. I do too. Like everyone that's sitting in first class, I'm like, we're gonna eat you when the
So,
revolution happens.
This may be the last time we're going to say it. EJ, the only former national
Yeah.
champion. I guess I've screwed it all.
That we know. No, you're close. You're close.
That we
Pretty
know.
close. Last time national
Yeah,
championship.
yeah.
Yeah, that we know from what year?
2001.
2001.
2002 Rose Bowl.
There you
Okay,
go.
all right.
2001, 2002. Will it? It hangs in the balance.
Also, we found, and we could be totally wrong about this, but this is the only time in
That's what-
current national championship days
Yeah.
that the Miami or a team is
Playing a home
playing
game.
at home because they're playing.
Big deal.
Since the start of the playoffs, like the BCS, like there was a de facto one in like '95 we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like Nebraska and Miami played at the Orange Bowl.
Yeah,
and
my
that was
wife
a de
is
facto.
Yeah,
one.
Andrea is in the chat room, and she wanted
Yeah?
to make sure that you did request tickets.
I requested tickets.
Okay.
I'll know Thursday morning
All
if
right.
I get them or not.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're $475 each.
What would you guys? We can end with this. I think the
tickets are going for
I
like
think-
$3,000.
Yeah, I think
I can't sell 'em, though.
The
I'll get in
vibe
trouble.
though of the stadium is going to be insane.
Oh yeah.
Like it's going to be the craziest.
Well, they're
one.
going to check people's tickets to even be in the parking lot, is what I was hearing.
Oh,
Because
that's
like
not fun.
Well, they want to make sure that the
Yeah.
people that are supposed to be there, and then there's going to be like, remember what happened with the FIFA World Cup or
I
whatever,
do,
and they
yeah.
tried to rush the stadium. They're kind of
And
worried
they
about
did.
that
They got
happening again.
in.
Yeah, they got in.
What are you talking about? They got in.
Do you think there'll be more Miami fans there?
Oh, for sure.
I think
what
it's
kind of
gonna be-
question is that? But like,
That's a legitimate question.
I think it'll be
because
overloaded.
with national championship games, just like Super Bowl. Because remember when Tampa played
Played it.
in 2020?
That was
Raymond
awesome.
James-
They played
Raymond
at
James,
home,
yeah.
and then it wasn't overwhelming
No, it
amount of
wasn't.
Tampa because the Super Bowl brings in people, everybody.
I think
so it's
this
like-
is different. I think college people seem to be more crazy about their teams than even
well,
NFL
Indiana
people.
has never been in a national championship game, so this will be their first time,
There you go.
and they might travel. This might be like the Eagles going to the Super Bowl those years ago.
Yeah, Conway J says that Indiana travels really well.
I could
They're
see
one
them,
of
yeah.
those teams.
So I don't know if it'll make a difference.
Maybe
like,
it'll be
crowd-wise.
Because they
We'll
sold
see.
the tickets before anyone know who was in the championship.
yeah.
A lot of Miami people are going to buy it because it's local, whatever.
I thought that was smart.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. It made it, seemingly
Because
fair.
it's sold out. And we're buying for a pack they held back.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm rooting for UM to win because I want to take it from EJ. So all right, let's go.
I used to want Indiana to win their first one.
Take it from them. All right.
Oh, that was the best part of I was telling Tom about Pat McAfee doing the game call. I'd never seen him do the call, and he was doing the call of the semifinals game, and he kept calling Sebastian the Ibis.
Yeah.
He kept calling him Caney. and telling other people that that's who they were. In fact, Nikki Bella from WWE appeared live, and he goes, "Oh, that's Caney," and she's like, "Hey, Caney," and was hugging him, and she called him Caney all night. And it was
Oh,
a little
no.
joke he gave her. Oh, it was fantastic.
I remember when Caney got hit by a stray bullet in New Year's. Little Miami fact.
That is a fact.
Little fact.
I know a story about someone they stole the costume from him at one night.
Oh.
Was it Michael Irvin? Because there's cocaine on him. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.